Welcome to Allies or Enemies. This time we are looking at Hadara. Designed by Benjamin Schwer, Hadara is a light civilization-themed game for 2 to 5 players. Hadara is a combination of card drafting and set collection that feels a bit like if Splendor and Through the Ages had a baby, but that baby had Splendor's nose and eyes and also its hair, which, as we all know, comes from the mother's side. It's fairly quick and light, and the civilization theme is more theme than civilization, but it has a hidden thinky streak, and it is sneakily pretty. But we'll come back to that. Let's start with how it plays.
In Hadara, players collect cards to build a kingdom. At the beginning of each round, the starting player will choose whose civilization will draw which kind of card first. Then simultaneously, all players draw 2 cards and decide whether they want to buy a card and add it to their tableau or sell it and earn coins based on the round. Yellow, red, blue, and green cards will add to the 4 tracks, representing economy, military, culture, and food, while purple cards provide various bonuses. All cards also provide a discount to any future cards of that color. So, if you have 4 red cards, for example, a 5-cost red card would only cost 1 coin. You then discard the unchosen card face up and move clockwise to the next pile. Once everyone has looked at 2 cards of each color, players earn coins based on economy, colonize islands based on military, and build statues based on culture. In the second phase, players take turns buying from the face-up piles until all of those are gone. Then they gain the production a second time, plus feed people and buy game end bonuses if they want. Then they do it all again, but with slightly better and more expensive cards, then a third time with even better and even more expensive ones. Then you add it all up and see whose kingdom is the best in the land.
Because play is mostly simultaneous, Hadara works almost exactly the same at all counts. Decks are increased or decreased based on the number of players, so everyone will always have the same number of turns, and will see the same number of cards. That said, this is not multiplayer solitaire, at least not in the face-up drafting round. Because all information is public, everyone knows exactly what card you need, and will almost certainly scoop it out from under you. Or worse yet, just discard it for a bit of extra cash. It's not exactly cutthroat, as whatever you buy will at least partially be helpful, but there can be a bit of playful treachery to it. Of course, at 2 there are less players to scoop the card you want, but there is also 1 player solely focused on you, and there are less cards in the pot, so you need to be just as clever.
Hadara has a surprising amount of replayability for what it is. We've played over a dozen times and no 2 games have felt the same. Sometimes you're rolling in cash and buying cards left and right, only to find yourself struggling to feed all of your people, while other times you expand your empire or build lots of statues. There's some built-in variability. The board's changeable, you only use part of each deck each round, and the colony bonuses are randomized, but most of the variability comes from the flow of the game itself. Your starting card steers you a bit. The cards you end up with in the first round are going to steer you even more. Sometimes a really good purple can set your whole game plan. It's kind of 1 part planning, 2 parts reacting. And as with any good puzzle, 1 little shift can make a world of difference. That said, outside of the purples, the cards are mostly similar, and it could be possible, at least partially, to follow the same path game after game if you really wanted to force it. But the good news is, even if someone did that, we haven't really found an ideal path yet.
Published in 2019, Hadara has already gone through a couple of box covers, and I'm still not sure they've nailed it. But don't judge a game by its box. The stuff inside is great. The colors are all pop off the table bright. The icons are easy to see, even on the smaller Euro-size cards. And the player boards are particularly great, with little slots for the various bonuses. The card art is also great, although you don't really notice it. The pieces do slide on the tracks, and the backs of some cards look a bit too much like football team logos. Also, the theme is tentative at best. I had to look up what the red and blue tracks even stood for, and I'm not totally sure what purple is. But the insert is terrific, and maybe best of all, the traditional player colors have been replaced by much more fun choices of monkey, dragon, lion, scarab, or Pegasus.
Hadara is a great game, as long as you know what you are getting. It has a civilization theme, but it's by no means a Civ game, and it's light, but not quite light enough that you could teach your non-game playing friends, and has a bit of interaction, but nothing you would quite call Take That. What it is a great next step for anyone who loves games like Azul or Splendor, or a terrific lighter addition to the collection of players that love Civ themes and think of Euros and want a slightly shorter and breezier game that still has a hint of all of those elements. And for anyone looking for games that are slightly under the radar, this could be the hidden gem you were looking for. And that is it. Have you played Hadara? What other light civilization games would you recommend? And as always, please do like and subscribe, and hopefully we will see you all next time for another game.